This is like me pointing it straight
Hey,
at my face.
hold on.
You are listening to the one and only, the hottest podcast show on the planet. It's okay, Law. Over to you, John, Kenny, and Eugene.
Hello, guys. why,
Hi.
why cannot? Why want to speak some more? I said, hold on.
Oh, I didn't know
Sorry.
it was. I thought you were
No,
talking.
it was just, and today on the It's Okay lah podcast, we don't know what we're gonna talk about, but then we're just gonna do whatever we do best and wing it as usual.
What a day! What a day!
Mm-hmm.
I went and watched.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, how you know?
You just say what? Eh?
I say I went to watch a movie only. Did I say it was?
You said Mission Impossible.
I
You said
did.
You did say
you
Mission
did.
Impossible.
Right.
How was it?
I mean, what else is there now? Barbie, yeah.
Hey, now it's like a lot of things that okay.
Oppenheimer
of course-
opens tomorrow only,
Yeah, that's true.
not today. Mhm.
So-
I checked.
Oh, Oppenheimer should be
So
fun.
if you miss Mission Impossible, what happened is like tomorrow you can't get it on IMAX.
Mm.
You can watch
You
it.
can't.
You can't because Oppenheimer opens up tomorrow, so all the IMAX screens are all for Oppenheimer.
So I want to say, with regards to Oppenheimer and IMAX, you guys are aware of or maybe for John who's in the country, GSC opening their IMAX theater, the first IMAX opening again since they used to own the Berjaya Times Square one, opening again in IMAX in IOI City Mall East. You guys heard that?
IOI City Mall East.
Putrajaya.
Yeah. Is there an East at the tail end of the name? Isn't it just IOI City Mall?
It's an expansion of the existing mall, so it's like a new wing per se.
It's
I've not
gonna
been
be
there.
Even bigger.
Yeah, like a new wing kind of thing, like a new wing within like a short span. Okay, and so then I got to think, Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, 70 mm 15 perforation film. I mean, this is star lah. Like legit, real IMAX. Apparently, that GSC IMAX is the only one in the whole of Malaysia which is like legit meeting the requirements of laser 70 mm 15 perforations IMAX. All these Sunway, Wang Atama, whatever that you see elsewhere, I mean, obviously GSC Max is not even there lah, are not, they're like downscaled 2K or whatever thing one. So I went browsing the Oppenheimer. I'm not gonna watch it. I got no plans to watch it yet. But then the whole week, all the screens available at that particular cinema, effectively all gone already. Like up until Tuesday or Wednesday next week, it's like all the good stuff, all the good seats are all gone on the cinema lah. I didn't check on others lah. I thought it'd be curious to go and check out
How
the
come?
new cinema.
How come you're not interested to watch
I
Oppenheimer?
want. I just need to find the time to do it.
Right.
So why
So
would you want to go to that particular theater to see
all the
what's
way
big deal about it?
to all the way to
Putra.
KL,
Putra.
Putra.
Yeah. IOI City East Putrajaya.
I'll do it.
Correct.
I'm not sure whether Amelia would do it, but I'll do it.
It's not that far. Actually.
Oppenheimer.
Re-
I'll do it for Oppenheimer. I won't do it for Mission Impossible.
Speaking of that, right? I actually did something like that. It's just not now during the pandemic. Remember, there was a time where we were not able to merentas. No, what
40 km? No, 10, 20.
Merentas Negeri or something. But I was like
There's a second phase. Yeah, correct.
something along that line, and then no, okay, you can go around already. It's just that certain places like in Selangor, no cinema allows to open,
Oh,
and then
okay.
other places the cinema started already, and that was during I gotta say during Wonder Woman 1984. So in Selangor,
Mhm.
no screening. So I
Right.
went all the way to Putrajaya to watch.
Because Putrajaya is a different state. Okay.
It
okay.
was in Putrajaya.
Right.
So I
okay.
didn't break any law. It's just that Putrajaya was they started first the cinemas. Even KL don't have. So I actually drove all the way to Putrajaya to watch Wonder Woman.
And it was
1984.
Wonder Woman 84. Okay.
Yeah, and that
You
would
had-
be like the one movie after the pandemic that I actually went and watched. But anyway, yeah. So why not go Oppenheimer over at IOI Putrajaya?
I'll do it for Oppenheimer. I won't do it for any other movie lah.
You got a plan,
Yeah,
though.
I would do it for Christopher Nolan lah.
Yeah.
So you gotta hand it to Christopher Nolan.
Hey, we
for,
gotta
like,
get
bringing
the
such
that Nolan seat, the so-called.
What is
the
the Nolan
no-
seat?
what is
like-
the Nolan seat?
Well, apparently we've been to IMAX Pyramid quite often lah. So G14 to G16, like that spot is the equivalent of the Nolan. Yeah, the optimum viewing angle
Is that the
is
one
right
that,
in the middle.
Is that the one that like Sheldon was trying to find in one episode of like The Big Bang Theory?
Not relevant to IMAX. Was it relevant to IMAX? I think it's just
He was
a
trying to
normal
find
screening.
the
Yeah.
acoustic-
Well, it's just
the what-
Sheldon
what was it,
acoustic balance or something like that.
The
Yeah.
acoustic optimal point or some.
So this is for visuals
BS
and maybe
they
sound
do.
as well lah. I mean, I would imagine
Right.
Nolan probably talks more about sound, visuals and sound, but yeah. So yeah, IOICT Mall East and then the Nolan seat for a Nolan film.
Okay, lah.
Do
Christopher
you
Nolan. I really
reckon
like Christopher Nolan.
you reckon that the IOI GSC IMAX one is legit?
Is what?
Legit full max, not Limax.
So I was googling this earlier because I didn't, the thought suddenly came to me because I know the people in the US who when they look for movies or IMAX screens, they actually check for specs like this, like next level. But I think it's important.
You mean the IMAXs that for the movies that I've been watching with you guys is not really IMAX.
It's IMAX. It's called Limax. They call it.
Like I forgot that term, Limax. I
Limax.
forgot that term. Oh my god. Okay.
It is marketed as IMAX. It's official
why is it
IMAX.
different? Why is
but
it different?
It's
Like,
not
it's
the full
downscale
spec.
kind of
Yeah,
like-
it's a downscale version of IMAX.
Yeah. So you got like
Oh.
what 190 something ratio and then 17 millimeter, 15 perforation, something like that. I mean things that I don't
okay,
really
so
understand this yet.
what is I just now you said 17mm 15 perforation. What is that? That's
Just
just
the
like
way that the
high
film-
resolution, is it? Or
I
There's
think
the
how
resolution,
big
there's the film. Yeah.
how big your
Image.
canvas is on
Mm.
and they say a lot of the IMAX, the legit ones, are actually the museums, those who install IMAX, where
Dome, the dome
yeah,
and
the screen is dome. In
pucks,
fact,
yeah.
Bajaya last
Right.
time, but the GSC, that one is
Square.
even bigger screen. That was apparently quite a big one compared to the one that you get in.
So the Bajaya one, I was reading. Apparently, it's big. It looks incredible, but the visual wasn't good.
Oh, really?
Something about the projection. Yeah, I was reading some Reddit, something on Reddit. Sorry, Eugene, you were saying I cut you off earlier.
no, I was just gonna say. So the last movie we watched, which was The Flash, IMAX, that
Uh-huh.
was not really IMAX. That was
It's not the.
It's a
specs that-
Limax.
as good as it looked. It was
Yeah.
Limax.
Yeah, it was a
Oh.
Limax.
So that means IMAX should be like
I don't know if it's
Even
bigger.
better.
mind
I don't know if
blowing.
it's bigger, but the visuals should be. I mean, again, I don't know lah.
Simply say, okay.
Yeah.
If you want to compare even like just two cinema in DJV, the one in One Utama and then the Sunway, the One Utama one actually has a better experience in terms of like the whole watching the movie. I could tell the difference, like, oh, this is
Wow,
much more
really?
immersive versus than the Sunway one.
Yeah, I thought you like the Sun one better.
No, I like the
One you
Utama
one
better.
but you don't like the fact that the one you has got a walkway.
yeah,
in
the
middle of
walkway
the
is a little
seats,
bit annoying. It's
which
just how it was done.
we got annoyed by it when
Distracting.
watching Endgame.
Mm.
Yeah, the Endgame began, and then there were people walking up and down still. Like, oi, come on. I still remember that. So I was looking up. So there's a list. Okay, it's Wikipedia, but I think hopefully it's legit because IMAX I think is the kind of stuff that people would update Wikipedia accurately for lah. So there's a page listing of all IMAX venues, and this one is says that this is a list of IMAX venues that feature the said specs lah. Not included in this list are those that are like 2K or Xenon or whatever, Limax, like what John said earlier.
Xenon?
And it's just some kind of a thing that they use, like digital
The
Xenon
bulb?
projectors. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's the wording. I don't fully understand what it means.
Never
lah.
heard of any of this. I thought
I'll show you the link, the page later. So then, when they go down to Malaysia, I was looking at this like on mobile lah. So Wikipedia expand then Malaysia only one, and then it says Putrajaya GSC IOI City Mall. And then I was just curious. Oh, nearby country, open Singapore. So similar to the Coldplay situation, Malaysia has only one. Singapore got three.
Singapore's got 3 of these like legit IMAX.
It says Shaw Theatres Jewel, Shaw Theatres Lido, and Shaw Theatres Paya Lebar Quarters.
So take note.
Paya Lebar Quarters.
What is it? It says quarter with no S. I don't know whether I don't know what it means.
And it's a mall. It's a mall. So I've
Oh,
been there.
okay.
I was like, huh? Did
Not a
not
very nice
impress me
mall, is
at
it?
all. It was a rather small mall actually.
Well, it says there Singapore got 3 lah, and IMAX
Okay,
legit
so you
lah.
can go to the airport. You can go to the airport and watch a Jewel.
Yeah, so out of the three, there are some that's accessible and you actually go and watch it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Eugene?
I,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, without having known about it before, I wouldn't have gone. But now that I know, yeah, I suppose. I wonder how much it costs. Let me check.
So the
Jewel.
tickets for Oppenheimer in JSC IOI City Mall for the IMAX there, it's $35
Oh,
for
that's about the same. I
like
think
standard lor, JSC lor.
standard. I watch Mission Impossible is 35 ringgit also Malaysian.
And you watch
IMAX.
it, oh, today is a weekday, yeah, okay.
Right.
Oh, holiday lah, holiday.
No holiday. Yeah, today's holiday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got holiday over at your side, Eugene, today?
No, not at all.
I think
So
Singapore
it's just a
doesn't,
regular
yeah.
holiday day.
Okay, holiday today.
It's a public holiday
It's
today.
an IMAX next generation featuring IMAX with laser. What is that? Is that the
Yeah, so
one?
the laser one is I think the one of the later iterations. But it doesn't mean that if you're laser, you still need to meet the requirements of the 70 millimeter and 15 perforations and stuff lah. But laser, it seems to be the more commonly built new cinemas for IMAX.
Oppenheimer. Okay, there we go. IMAX.
You check the
I wonder
price?
if they will allow me to see the
35 Sing
price
dollars.
without checking in.
Can lah, you
Yeah,
just check in now. Okay. Is $35 normal for IMAX ticket in?
23 Sing dollars.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot, I think.
Times 3 for something for us lah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a
I
segue
mean,
on the
Yeah,
IMAX
I mean
topic.
this Oppenheimer thing. I mean, it's obviously like quite well known history lah about what he did. But yeah, I mean, it's like all props to like Christopher Nolan for bringing it to like the like popular culture consciousness.
I gotta admit,
consciousness.
I don't know the name Oppenheimer prior to Christopher Nolan. I
Me
don't.
too. And
I know
also,
there was a movement to build the bomb. I don't know who was the guy behind it.
I know zero think about the movie until like
It's what
certain
you want.
Huh?
Which is what you want. You
Yeah,
want to
in a
know
way,
nothing about
in a
the
way,
movie.
until like there's press junkets, and then it was like, oh, this dude is acting also, and then I saw one press junket. I mean, I guess it's not spoiler that Iron Man is in it. What's his name again?
Donnie.
Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. He's in, and
He's great in it.
his press junket, or at least one of the quote that I saw, I heard him say that this is the best movie he ever acted in. That's what he said.
That was the one that people have been throwing out.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You should watch the movie first and see. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is the actor promoting his own movie that he's appearing in right before the actors' strike in the US,
Yeah.
which could be a
Oh.
different topic altogether.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that actually, but anyway. So yeah, so I knew I've heard of who Oppenheimer was, and I know a bit of the history. I mean, basically, the bomb worked lah, right? Everybody knows the bomb worked.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
but I'm sure there are
spoiler
a lot of
alert.
details that we also don't know lah. So it would be interesting. It would be very interesting.
It's like watching Titanic. Yeah, the boat sank.
The boat saying.
Yeah, the bomb works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he did that other movie, the Dunkirk. So
Mm.
that was really good as well. So I really like that.
I actually enjoy Dunkirk a lot.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good, and they got like a lot of the historical points like down,
Mm.
and so that was very good. So yep.
I remember
Eugene is our resident like World War II expert. I think. I mean, among three of us, somewhat.
Oh,
I guess
I'm-
maybe.
Well, I'm not very good at it.
I'm not an expert lah. So it's just
You know more than three of us do lah. I mean, among the three.
basically, I just watched like more documentaries. That's all. So after
I
you
thought I
watch
did.
it,
I
you
thought I
know,
did until I met you.
No, because when we stopped playing like PUBG on a regular basis, it's like, what I'm going to
That
do
was
is take
your
my
thing.
time. Okay, so now we're going to start watching these documentaries I've always wanted to watch.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Well, speaking of the the
Strike.
the strike. So what's happening is that Hollywood is right now kind of like shut down because of the Writers Guild had a strike, and then the Actors Guild followed through as well. And what it was is they are trying to strike to get more leeway in terms of like salary and also stuff that they are discussing with the bosses, the studio bosses, so that they are compensated fairly as a creator, as a writer, where these how to say where there's actually plenty of revenue to share around. Like, haven't you see? Okay, just give a little bit of example of maybe say football. Okay, a a footballer, say a striker in a club, Manchester United, a week they are making 350,000 uh, pound per week. You're talking about the top level, lah. All right. Even not the top level, right? If you're in the starting 11, almost guaranteed is somewhere around 100,000 per week. That's 100,000 per week. And you're talking about 4 weeks in a month, 400,000 pound per month, right? Provided that football is like global sport, the TV revenue is so high, and then because you are a player in it, it trickles down to you that you are the player, you get that kind of salary, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Can you imagine 400,000 pound per month kind of salary? Can you phantom or not that kind of thing? And here we are. You push it out to say Disney making movies where they are grossing about $1 billion per movie, and also then with the rights and the IPs and everything. And yes, the stars are getting like maybe 10-15 millions per movie, and then when it trickles down to the writers who actually wrote all these things, they are not getting a fair compensation. That's
How much
what
would they get?
do not
Say,
know.
any idea?
Uh,
It's not like 100,000 a
no,
week lah.
no,
So
it's not. And
Job basis
in I
and
think
worse.
I think they say in 1970s or 1980s where they had a big writers' guide strike. Um, so what happened is they managed to negotiate residues, meaning that if let's say
okay,
the sitcom that's being sold for reruns and all, they still get
they would
the
get a piece of it.
yeah
Lah.
piece of it, right?
Ongoing revenue.
Ongoing
Passive,
revenue.
passive. Yeah.
And apparently, since the streaming thing came about, and because how streaming works, they don't get any more of those revenue.
Okay.
So a
They,
lot
they
of
cut
all,
out of that
yeah.
pie lah, so to speak.
So
Okay.
James
Okay.
Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, was like
yeah,
saying,
I saw that.
saying Bob Iger, every 1 year making $25 million, sitting in his nice. What he said, if you pan out from the interview, you'll see a very nice courtyard or very nice hill view, and if you pan out a little bit more, you will see like all the private jets or whatsoever. And everything, that's his life, and here we are making the money and creating all these things in the name of art, and we are not compensated. When you are making 25 million a year, and the rest of the people, this salary disparity is very big. So that's why they are striking, and why they strike works is because of these organization, the Writers Guild and also the Actors Guild. Because if you are an actor, you want to be a registered member because you get, I guess you get work.
It's
you
a
get,
union. It's a
yeah,
union.
it's a in union.
You
Yeah,
take part in this kind of thing.
yeah, you take part inside, and then when you do that, if let's say suddenly, hey, I'm actually an active actor, very popular, I've got work on, I'm not, how to say, I'm earning enough one. But then when the guild say we are going on strike, he also cannot go on work. I also cannot go on work in that sense. So everybody will strike. That's when they feel it, I guess. So
Okay.
that's the story
So,
behind.
Okay, I to be honest, until you explain it, I didn't understand what it was about. I was like, they're striking. Oh, okay lah. Wait until it ends lah. And
Yeah.
then I mean, then in my mind I was thinking, haven't they've probably already written like a few seasons in advance already, so just use that lah. S-
They,
And
yeah.
while they sort it out, so but apparently it's more complicated than that. So
I mean the writing like content and seasons in, ahead of time, that probably is true. But no matter what, stopping the work now and with all the scheduling that's involved, probably does still create somewhat of a hole or a gap in the production line. No, I mean it's not like everything's all smooth sailing. So there's so while they have things still coming out to post produce, there will eventually be a lull in this content piece lah. And I think two things I'll just add on from what John was saying lah. So the one other thing that is striking. So the money part is definitely a big deal lah. And we're not talking about the like what John was saying earlier. You know, your strikers of the major top Premier League clubs. You're talking about we all know the 0.1%, 0.3% Hollywood A-listers, but the membership is about 16,000 people, and there are a lot of actors who are just like getting by. They're not the ones that we know, and that is primarily the reason for the strike lah. So there's, it's like the regular people acting, not the superstars lah. And the actors are also doing it because they also have the issue. The writers' strike actually began first, because the writers also apparently were having it's a day began first. But writers, if you think about it, okay, writing scripts or best script, it's a award in the Oscars and also many other film awards ceremonies. And it's important because if your writing is not bad, it's not good, then it already creates a problem from the get go. So it's a recognized art, but they don't really get paid much apparently. I'm not sure how much of it is also due to the same residuals concept, but I think it should be
right.
to paint a picture. So I'm not sure about between film and series lah. There's a show called Bear, as in like Beruang, Bear the animal,
Okay.
that I've watched on Disney Plus Hotstar, and season 2 is coming out. I quite like it. It's a drama about a chef and dealing with issues, running a restaurant that's left by his
I would
brother and
never have
something.
guessed that it was a cooking show. If
They
you
call
tell
it
told
Bear
me the title.
because of the name of the eatery or the
Right.
place lah. That's why it's called
I would never
Bear
have guessed
something
it was
lah.
about cooking.
And
Okay.
it has to do with like the local name like the Bear, like that's the place that they go to. So it's a very quirky kind of thing now. The show won the award for best comedy or best new comedy something in the Emmys.
Hmm.
The person who wrote the show or best like writer for the show lah. Emmys has got a lot of different award recognitions lah. The writer had to go to the ceremony, worrying about his next mortgage and having to rent a tuxedo apparently. So basically, even though he can win the award, recognized by everybody, and everyone's clapping in their tuxedos and all that, and of course the people in the award ceremony are all the famous guys lah. I know, but he's a writer. He got there, he gets an award as an underdog or like a up and coming, good writer. He was struggling to make ends meet and can't even afford a tux, and apparently this is this is award winning still tak boleh, so this is one example. It's probably not as common as to all other of the people in the strike, but then there are such scenarios lah. So there's one. The other one is this one is probably more for the actors, using AI, which everybody now loves to talk about.
Yes, I read about that. I read
yeah.
about that.
So the
Yeah.
scenario is about they ask actors to come in for one day or like really short period of time, record you, capture your likeness, and then we'll pay you for one day, and then you can off you go already. The studio will own the likeness of that production because of whatever
Yeah.
contract, and then we can just do what we need to do using AI to generate. So that's
Right.
actually quite scary, and I mean your face is it's owned by someone, a company. So that's another thing they want to fight against.
Yeah, I read about that briefly in the headlines there, and I was like, what does this have to do with the writers? So I didn't know that it had expanded from like just writers,
To actors.
because
Yeah.
I've also read the headlines that said that the main cast for like Oppenheimer like walked out.
Walked
like,
out.
Why are
Correct.
they walking out? They're not writers. So yeah, I had no idea, to be honest. I was
Solidarity with industry partners, basically.
right.
Yeah, because they're all
Okay.
together in this, in a way.
Okay,
Uh,
so
yeah.
basically they want like stick it to like the
The
Studios.
studios are
The
studios,
five,
streaming companies
AMPTP,
or what?
the
Or
AMPTP they call it.
MPTP, the big
Alliance
five.
of Motion,
Yeah.
Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, basically the producers lah. AMPTP. All these
Okay.
5-letter acronyms in the US, crazy one. By the way,
Okay, so are
the
they getting
actors
anywhere,
the
or-
actors union doesn't have a nice name lah. They're called the Screen Actors Guild, which initials are SAG, which
SAG.
pronounced SAG.
SAG.
SAG. Yeah, not the most. I always thought it was a very funny abbreviation, but apparently it's the body of actors that people recognize lah. Apparently, so
Right.
yeah, SAG.
Okay.
You were saying, sorry, Eugene? Yeah.
I mean, is it working? Is anybody like sitting at the discussion
Hollywood has
table,
stopped. Hollywood has stopped, and people are talking about it. Yeah.
So,
So it looks like it may work lah.
during this strike, what happened is that even like say like Oppenheimer opens this week in Malaysia, there is no press junket, no nothing, no premiere. You cannot go around and promote your
not?
movie because you're on strike.
Oh.
Wait, when you
a
say
minute,
you, meaning the actors?
The actors
Or
yeah,
people affected? Yeah, actors. Yeah, actors can't do anything in the name of the
promoting.
Right.
material
Mm.
produced by the
but
producers.
but the marketing company can still like churn out the
They
posters.
can
and
run whatever that was
churn out
pre-done
Yeah,
already lah, but then the
pre-done.
actors can't be involved in any active work.
Meaning that
Oh.
you know how okay
Can't
so
like attend a premium in like Tokyo. Or you can't
Yeah,
do
you
that.
can't.
There,
So,
yeah.
Oppenheimer like literally moved their premiere early to do the red carpet and everything, and then the strike happened after that.
Oh.
They moved a day earlier, and then don't know at midnight,
So-
don't know
so
what.
why they walked out.
They walked out apparently at midnight. Apparently, I
midnight?
don't know why did the red carpet ended up having to screen a show partially at midnight, or like started at 10
Oh,
and then it
okay.
ran until like 1 because it's a long movie. Actually, how long the movie is? Quite long lah. So they
You
tried
mean
to
they ran Oppenheimer, or they.
they had a red carpet premiere for Oppenheimer. The actors were there, and then halfway through the movie, and it's a long movie. At midnight, the strike happened, and then the actors walked out.
But they didn't like turn off the movie or what, right?
No, I think it went on lah, but the actors can't be there.
Yeah, the actors
It's,
can't
fa-
be
it's
there.
fairly peaceful. It's fairly procedural lah. No, okay,
Right.
the movie is there. Please go ahead. I'm not gonna beat you or anything, but I can't be here for this reason. It's a very peaceful
Because
thing,
they
I
are
guess.
part of the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
You didn't know. Okay.
Screen Actors Guild.
They
Correct.
basically they know okay the strike will start. You got to like give notice when you're gonna start your strike,
Yeah.
and then so the studio decided to move the opening or
Okay.
the premiere
Okay.
earlier, just before the strike happened at 12. They just walk out lor. As I think the studio knew that would happen, and the actors just also know that they are gonna do that. I guess I do not know, and that happened. I would think
Correct.
that's the sequence of events. that
I heard
happened.
about it. I because when we drive, I do the school run in the morning and all this, and the radio is on, and so they do talk about like Hollywood news, you know, and so I've been hearing this strike. I'm like really like so what?
Well, the
So,
consumer
okay,
wouldn't really
okay.
feel the thing right now. You will see the effect of it like maybe in the fourth quarter of this year, where you start feeling how come
Not
that
many
project got
as usual.
delayed. All these, how come less movie? You know, there's no more season 2 of certain things.
Or come slower.
Hero suddenly the writing became bad.
Basically,
Hero?
they're
Heroes.
cutting off like the revenue, the
Go back
revenue,
to
one of
Heroes.
the revenue sources
Yeah.
for one of the revenue sources for the studios lah. Am I saying it right?
Well, these are the guys who are
movie
doing the
studios.
work, and then they're stopping the work lah. So no,
Right.
You guys
yeah.
remember Heroes, right? So that time
I do.
what
Was it
happened
the
after
strike?
Yeah,
Wasn't there
it was
Heroes Reborn as well?
yeah.
No, not Reborn.
That was
the
way later.
season-
It was
season
Reborn.
2.
It was-
from season 2 onwards.
So
Was
It
it
was-
that time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very obvious dip in quality. It was
season 1 was so
epic,
good.
season
Everyone
one.
was like
Yeah.
hyping about it. Then suddenly season 2 is like
Season two, it just took a nosedive, and then after that, it just like crashed and burned.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, that was because of the writer's strike, or?
I remember it was because of writer's strike.
So I'm just googling right now.
Oh.
First hit IMDb article: the ill-fated heroes now is mostly remembered as a prime example of how not to sustain a series after a hugely popular first season, and star Greg Grunberg. I forgot who's that. Thinks a key part of the show's steep decline was the WGA strike. So only the writers, WGA, Writers Guild of America, strike that hit Hollywood in 2007. In a tweet showing support, okay, this is just a preview from Google.
So when the writer
2007.
said we're not going to write it anymore, so someone else said, okay, I'll do it. Then it turns out it was.
No, you
so it
can't.
was like
Basically, if you are a member of that writers
Oh,
guild, you cannot be
okay.
working.
So why was there a dip in quality though? Because presumably they would have resumed.
They resume later on, and then
Rushed.
tighter
did it
timeline.
half-heartedly, is it? Oh,
Instead of
okay.
15 episode became 10, the kind of stuff, cut costs and stuff, lor.
Basically not smooth lah. There are things that had to be
Right.
adjusted and all that, and it's just basically kinks in the process lah, which had led to
Okay.
this lah. Oh yeah, heroes yeah, okay. I wasn't aware, but okay, 207.
I remember it was a writer's guide that actually made the show went south quite a bit.
I think when Heroes was coming out at the time, and I did watch it, I wasn't in the position to actually follow such news to this level. Yeah, different person back then and
I
now.
did watch it. I did watch it. Did you watch it when it came out?
Yeah.
I did watch it. I thought it
I
was
don't know
good.
what happened after season. I can't
Silence.
recall after season 2 release. Like, I know season 1 with the Nathan going up in the air. Or was it Nathan? No, the two brothers. Yeah, it was
I can't remember already.
Peter something.
Yatta. What happened to Mr. Yatta?
Then there was a Heroes Reborn, and
Yeah, I
don't know
didn't
what-
bother.
I don't know what happened with that. I didn't bother as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, lor. Strike and yeah.
So today's episode is about Hollywood. It's about Oppenheimer. It's about
IMAX.
Mission Dun 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 Dun, which we didn't talk about it really.
About the movie? Yeah, we can talk about. Oh, but can we? We can't because only one of 3 of us has just watched it and it just came out like
Oh,
overly.
I-
Right?
No, are
I
you
don't
are you
really-
guys
I
planning
don't
to
really- I don't really
watch?
care about spoilers. I don't really care about spoilers. You can just tell me.
No, I'm not
what
gonna
you think.
go spoilers route, but
Not for Kenny lah. So,
for what's worth, I think it's worth watching. I think it's good. I think it's something slightly different, simply because it's part 1 and part 2 also. But
You have that. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it's also quite timely the problem that they are tackling this time around. It's interesting in a way that I'm actually, after watching part 1, I want to watch part 2.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
It
so
works. Okay.
it worked.
yeah, well, I just want to see how much more Tom Cruise can defy looking his age.
Oh, you look pretty good. That's
Yeah,
still.
like-
He
No,
says he's
the
gonna
same
keep
age as Jeremy
doing.
Clarkson.
He's gonna
It's
keep
just-
doing Mission Impossible until he's 80. I'm curious how he looks like. How old is he now?
like Botox
60 something?
and, like,
Tom Cruise.
I don't know. He still look very good.
yeah, it's
61.
Like, darn, this guy is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came on Top Gear like a long time ago lah, and then he said that then Jeremy Clarkson we're the same age. I was like, damn, he's the same age as Jeremy Clarkson.
Amelia Tan says that the show is hilarious too. She's on YouTube.
Tom Cruise
watching
being
us.
funny. Okay. Yeah, he's somehow been able to do that. Last time not very funny one.
No, Top Gun Maverick also. What? I mean, it works lah, but not just him making all the humor lah.
And then he looks real good, she said.
Oh well.
So yeah, go
What-
watch it. It's just too bad that at least right now you wouldn't be able to watch it on IMAX because
At all?
Oppenheimer.
Really? At
yeah,
all?
yeah, at all. Oppenheimer will overtake all IMAX theater coming forth tomorrow onwards. I guess in the next one week or two, maybe the second week you'll see them sharing the IMAX screen. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just gonna peek right now. And, okay, my children's trying to broadcast. Hi, children. I'm just gonna look at right now. So, Thursday, IMAX. IMAX. Oh, I think you're right. There's no IMAX. Yeah, I can't find anything on IMAX for. Wait, this is GSC. Okay, obviously GSC. No, TGV. TGV instead. TGV Thursday. Oh, this is nice. TGV is able to sustain my account on auto login. It didn't need to log. That's nice. Unlike the app. Why am I not able to get this? Movies. While waiting, have you guys heard anything about Barbie?
I was at the cinema today. People
Okay.
were dressing in pink
Oh my
to
god.
watch
Okay.
Barbie.
Okay.
People were taking selfie in the box set of Barbie. You know, they walk
Oh,
in
they
the
have one of
box.
those like boots.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be quite fun actually.
Yeah, so they are doing that, and I guess they don't have IMAX screening for Barbie at all, not in TGV for sure.
Max or Barbie.
Well, truth be told, okay, there's so many types of cinema in Malaysia, right? You got the Onyx screener, you've got the 4D screener, you
What's
got
Onyx screen?
apparently is
screen,
OLED screen panel.
Samsung, right?
Yeah, Samsung
Something.
OLED.
Yeah,
Big
Samsung.
TV.
Big TV basically is deep
Oh,
blacks, very nice contrast look to the screen and
We've
everything.
tried it, right?
I
It's
think
not
we tried it.
really. Yeah,
mean,
it's like doesn't really.
Of
I don't feel
all
it, lah.
of all the different cinemas, you know, you got Indulge where you got like nice couch, you know, comforters and stuff, and you can eat in there, whatever. Nothing beats an IMAX, like a big screen, good sound, surround. Still, like you know, it's much more immersive and it adds on to the quality of like actually watching the show. I mean, Barbie on IMAX, bring it on. I don't mind. I don't mind if I can afford it, but I don't mind to watch on a normal one as well. But if you're gonna watch, say, Mission Impossible, or even like Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer, of course.
don't go and spend the money on Onyx screens. You know, go for IMAX. Atmos is great, but Atmos is basically just a sound. You get a fairly good screen, a modern day screen, which is nice. You get the Atmos sound, which is nice, but still IMAX is like the top lah.
But do they film that many movies in IMAX?
Well, even if
Like-
let's say they don't use the camera to shoot, you just have a bigger canvas. It's much more immersive. The way the
Just to
way the
project.
So it
screen
could be
is,
like
yeah.
it's just a bigger screen lah. If
Yeah,
it's
bigger
like
screen lah.
not true IMAX lah.
Yeah lah.
Okay. So they may show Barbie on IMAX, but it was not filmed with like the big hefty like
IMAX camera.
requires so much like cooling kind of like IMAX camera lah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So even if you, okay, 16:9, you possibly watch Barbie in 16:9, right? And there's no more information in that screen ratio. But if you watch Batman Begin, I remember they have more than 16:9. They have some more like the top part. You see a lot more visual than just 16:9. So it's a different cropping lah. More visual impact to it. But essentially, it's just bigger screen, better sound. You know.
You reckon that there's still a lot of the average Malaysians who probably don't care about, you know, it's a big enough screen for whatever, but they don't really bother
Well,
about.
I gotta say that you know, able to go cinema is already a good thing.
Privilege, yeah.
It's already a privilege, and paying more for IMAX and everything is like you are willing to spend to get that kind of quality, you know, that kind of thing, to that kind of enjoyment. So I don't know if you haven't experienced an IMAX, go and try if you can. But if you watch if you're able to watch a movie in cinema, you're supporting the industry. I think is already a very good thing, and you get a good experience out of it, no matter what. So yeah,
I gotta make sure that I choose my movies wisely, because for my available time slots to go watch a movie. So I can't be wasting it on lousy stuff.
but nowadays a lot of those movies that we watch are IMAX worthy kind of movie. I don't fancy watching Cantonese Hong Kong shows in
Cantonese
IMAX.
Hong Kong. Hey, which there's a lot
Nice.
now, leh. I think either like Hong Kong or
Are
it's like
they?
China Hong Kong collaborations. A lot. They're like all these old guys all coming back. All the, I mean, in
Oh,
Malaysia
guys.
lah, got lah.
Something Storm is out already. What the
Ah,
new
there's another
one?
Storm movie. You know all these
Something Storm
Storm.
movie. Yeah.
Apparently, the Storm thing is like there's a it's a phrase to refer to some kind of like a tense thing in Cantonese. I forgot me. I
I
mean,
think
if you know what.
when you see the storm is either the wuxia kind of show the storm rider, or the storm is about cops and all these special units, yeah, special units kind of thing. Yeah, storm what
What there's the P Storm, what Storm, this Storm. Yeah, there's literally a movie called
the
P
white
Storm.
storm tree,
White Storm 3. There's
heaven or
literally
hell.
there's
Seen any of these? Maybe I've never even heard of it.
Good night.
Good night.
oh that came through the audio. Okay, yeah. So
Good night.
so now we can pivot to the mystery, or rather the reality that is Hong Kong film. As
I almost forgot we have all these things. 2 weeks we haven't done a recording.
I know, I know.
Oh, speaking of 2 weeks, didn't do recording because of my birthday last week.
I totally forgot. Well, was it last week?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, exactly last week. Yeah, correct.
gonna
But we did
play-
do prior as well prior to that as well.
I'm gonna play the song myself. Happy birthday to me.
So now we're all officially the same age.
Yeah. So what about Hong Kong movies?
What about Hong Kong movies? So me and John both had this similar thought lah, that Hong Kong movies, we all grew up watching them. There was a prime of Hong Kong film production. You're talking about whether it's the wuxia kung fu movies, which apparently a lot of people in the US really like. I mean, that's the reason why you got Jet Li and Choi Yun-fat and all these guys now, and Jackie Chan in the US doing there. And then whether you also got like all those like dramas or family shows or sitcom. There was a golden era of Hong Kong cinema that we all grew up in, or at least I know for a fact I did lah. And suddenly one fine year or two or age when I was like, I don't know, like late 20s, early 30s, suddenly like suddenly we get, how come every single Hong Kong movie that I watch like so like it's like this doesn't feel the same anymore, like nothing different about it. And then it's like they still squeeze out some like all-star cast show for Chinese New Year. It's almost like a tradition they do that, and even that also was like crappy. And now it came to the point whereby it's like, yeah, I don't even like Hong Kong produced film yeah, I don't watch lah. Like maybe Yip Man was one that was still okay, you still watch it, you still give it a go. But beyond that it's like, yeah, a lot of the any other show out of Hong Kong and all those typical faces it's like, I mean personally like, I don't look for. In fact, I would avoid it actually, almost almost stereotypically and well, equivalent to racistly. Like, let's avoid it because like it's a waste of my time. If let's say I did know better, that the show will be just about the same. Uh, and I don't know whether is it just due to, yeah, actually I don't know what's the reason behind it. In all my documentative watching content on YouTube, and the guys I follow, no one has really given a good answer. I don't know whether if the rise of China, like mainland Chinese film business and industry, was an influence, because the taste of movies and the audience preference for cinema in China is a bit different. And the rise of China also mean that they then now have the budget to even hire these so-called famous Hong Kong guys to come in, and then they are calling the shots as to how to produce the film. So that you start seeing that these Hong Kong actors are being in films that feels very like, might feel like mainland China show one, very CG, very like a lot of action but not much story or narrative substance. Like the for the most part lah, there are still some good ones, but for the most part it's like feels that way lah. So that is my quip with Hong Kong cinema of now.
Do you think it could also be due to the rise of the South Korean TV
I
and
want to say that the timing
movie
feels
industry?
different. I want to say that the timing feels different. I think at the time when Hong Kong cinema began, or felt like to me was declining, it was still a good few years before Korean cinema or Korean TV uh, got to where it is right now. Maybe Japanese film or Japanese fandom.
Japanese.
Japanese film never really
Mm.
got big. Japanese drama had a very very short prime, but they didn't feel like it was enough to like take over. It felt more like Hong Kong cinema itself declined on its own for whatever reason, rather than somebody else taking the piece of the pie. I feel that way lah.
Do you
Yeah.
think it would have been around the time when the British handed Hong Kong back to China?
I want to
Nah, I
say
mean
that
Shortly after
the
that?
year 2000, 2000 plus, we really get really good Hong Kong movie by Stephen Chow, Kung Fu Hustle, all these things. Those are pretty
Those
good.
were quite good. Those
so
were
like
quite good. Yeah.
97
Shaolin
and then 2000
Soccer.
and onwards. Yeah,
No, you
Suppose it's
get really.
possible that.
I think maybe the new generations of creators and all these kind of things are not on par as is they are not as I don't know. I also don't know how to say. Like you if you're talking about like the old timers, they deliver a lot of yes and no. Jackie Chan hasn't been delivering for the longest time. Um,
what you want to say Jet Li, Chow Yun Fat,
well,
Lee
even
Yong,
Chow Yun Fat, there is this movie about Ch-
Hollywood.
no, not Hollywood, the Hong Kong one. Aaron Kwok and Chow Yun Fat about Aaron Kwok was the dude that was an artist and then he drew US dollars and then he got caught because he was printing US dollars
Okay.
and stuff like. It's a very good movie.
Sounds like a Hong Kong version of Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, in a way. And then Chow Yun Fat was in there, you
The
know.
two guys, famous actor, and then like chasing after, and what?
So that I can't remember what I think. Yeah, that
Let
movie
me
is
look it
good.
up.
There,
Let me
there
look it
are
up.
there are few good ones like the old timers production. They are still rather I think watchable. I think the ones that takes in
Oh,
investment from studios in China are the ones that suffering badly. Like for instance, Jackie Chan's movie has not been good for the longest time
even in Hollywood.
Can we even name
in China.
a
Oh, Jackie Chan.
contemporary?
Sorry.
Contemporary meaning like
Like,
what?
can we even name a contemporary
Like
Hong Kong actor? Other don't talk about old ones lah. The the Aaron Kwok or Jackie, all these are the old guys. But are there any new guys? I can't even think of anybody.
no, no, none that they are
So
they're new
that's maybe part of the
contemporary
problem, isn't it?
China actors who are famous like in the region, but I don't know in Hong Kong.
No.
Honestly, the best that I can name is one of the old generation's son, Nicholas Z. Jia Dingfeng.
That's
He's
also
quite old. He's
Older,
quite
yeah.
old
older
already.
Oh,
already, older already.
Yeah.
He's not young by any means.
So yeah. But yeah. Whereas if you talk about I mean people are more like in tune with what's going on in Korea and also I think I can't name any but I think some people will probably know a few more
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Korean
There's
actors.
definitely that now.
So
There's definitely that now.
maybe that countries industry fill the void that the Hong Kong industry left behind.
Yeah,
I
but the fact that the Hong Kong industry left the void, or like even let that happen. I mean,
Yeah,
how did that happen? By the way, John, the movie that you're referring to, I think based on what you're telling me and looking at the film's name, Project Gutenberg sounds
yeah
like it.
yeah.
okay,
Watch that one. It's
Gutenberg.
actually pretty good.
2018 sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's
Oh
pretty
my good,
good.
very good.
I think I guess follow the money. I think there is a big push for cinema in China. A lot of smaller production houses creating a lot of web movies where their quality is not great, but they're growing. They tend to copy a lot of Hollywood and also a very bad copy of Hollywood, and a lot of I guess movement went there. A lot of attention went there. But then again, in the 90s, right? If you watch movies from Wong Jing and all this kind of thing, right, stupid as hell is crappy as hell. It's like almost some cup category 3, that kind of movie, right? But looking back and watching it again, right, it's
Nostalgia?
kind of fun in a way, and it's like yeah, it's crappy as hell, but you enjoy the crappiness of it.
I mean, nostalgia could very much play a factor in that as well, like, cause it's us growing up. But I mean, I don't hear young fellows, looking after for the next Hong Kong show, even Chinese New Year. Nowadays, so do they still have the Chinese New Year films? I think still got
All
it, but I
else
just don't bother.
all else goes well or something.
Also as well, I think like no
yeah.
more already. I think, but it's
Oh,
like
that was
I think
like
I'm sure it has to be a
that was like
staple.
late 80s, wasn't it?
Oh, that from
There was
1980s
one
until
every year,
2000s.
one every year, one
Yeah.
every
Huh?
year.
One every
But
year?
Yeah.
yes, it was a Chinese New Year thing. Also
Is
as
it?
well, however.
It's
Hey, hang on. Also as well is the family one, right?
yeah, the family. No, it's not just the family. I think it's over the years has changed so many. It's a ensemble, sort of like ensemble cast, that kind of thing, to
Sure, not
everyone
referring
come
to the
in.
28 tenants.
No, it's not 28
Another
tenants.
one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's basically every year is ensemble
Yeah,
cast
yeah.
to
You're
celebrate
right. You're right.
Chinese New
You're right.
Year.
You're right. You're right.
Basically,
You're
we
right.
can be random people, whoever is popular now, or whoever wants to be seen to next to this actor
The
or
Chinese New Year
whatever,
thing.
these
Yeah,
legends
yeah.
and
Kind
all
of like
that.
Love Actually for Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
Love Actually is only one movie one.
Yeah, that's true.
that's true. That's true. Actually, Love Actually was really four. No wait, the four one is the Holiday. Love Actually had a lot of actors. Okay.
Holiday, that one
Was four. Jack Black and the
yeah,
two
that's
girls,
only
two
four
guys.
of them.
It's
It's
four,
not
but
related though, right?
Love Actually,
Yeah.
no,
Not
it's
related,
not
yeah.
Way
related, but it has
later.
that kind of feel,
Basically, a holiday movie lah. Feel good
Yeah,
movie
that was a
lah.
holiday. Yeah,
Christmas
correct.
movies ah. Nowadays, a
Correct,
lot of B-grade Christmas movies on Netflix also one during
Hallmark.
Christmas. Yeah, Hallmark is very
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 hallmarky, very
yeah.
hallmarky feel one. Very, yeah. Yeah, also I don't know. I would personally make it a mission to go and like find out like I'm sure there are people who have made like short form videos about like why did Hong Kong cinema decline all that lah.
Then the Asian who the Asian what the YouTuber
Accenture Cinema. He is
the
he's a
Accenture
mainland
Cinema.
he's a mainland Chinese guy who's in Canada. But yeah, he didn't have a topic specifically on the decline.
On
of
that,
cinema.
on
He
decline,
talks about it.
he
He
talks.
talks about it on and off.
He
but
study
doesn't-
films.
Yes, he does.
As he study why films are films like that. Like how come
Correct.
during this period of time you have all these movies,
Yeah,
those kind of thing, and why this period piece work, why this
Yeah.
period piece doesn't work, that kind of stuff. Like
But Accenture Cinema didn't do a specific video on the decline of Hong Kong cinema. Did it? Did he?
no, I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
remember.
But he talks about it quite often because he talks about like the heydays of Hong Kong cinema and the actors and all this. So if anybody was in the people that I watch was to do this topic, I would really like to hear his take on it because I think he really so he probably would have consumed the media quite a bit, but maybe he consumed the media from the perspective of a mainland Chinese growing up, and I don't know how different would that be.
I think he's very
Yeah.
objective in.
He is. Yeah.
As in, like, he understand both Western and also the Chinese the Southeast Asia cinema, well, the world cinema basically. I think he has his tentacles like fingers in every single segment of it. He really studied this thing very very deep, so he knows what
Actually,
he's talking about.
he's also like Southern Chinese. So I think he could like speak Cantonese like pretty well, and then like talk about the shows. At least when he intonates the title in Cantonese, I think it was like quite accurate one. So I think he's probably Southern Chinese or something like that. Yeah. So yeah. He probably. I mean, Southern Chinese probably is closely affiliated to Hong Kong, so he probably would be. Yeah, actually, I want to hear his opinion if he has a piece on this, and hopefully, yeah. I could
He
put a
has
request to as his
pieces
patron
of-
supporter.
He has a video essays of how
Jet
Tony
Li,
Leung
Ip Man.
acts with his eyes and why he's such
Yeah.
a great actor. He will talk about how Ip Man 4 address racism.
Racism?
Yeah, I thought
Correct.
those are fantastic video essays that he came out with.
I watched the most recent one that he did about Tony Jaa. Hong Bak, yeah, about why what he did was so unique lah, but wasn't lasting lah anymore. Again, changing times. But yeah, Hong Kong cinema. Actually, Eugene, what's your, if I was ask you to tell me about Hong Kong cinema, what would you say? Like,
I've never really like been like drawn to it lah.
okay,
My
growing up even not so lah.
experience with my experience with the Hong Kong stuff is usually like the Hong Kong dramas last time at 6 p.m.
TVB,
on
TVB.
TVB ones, the one that
Okay,
was always
can't be
centered
avoided.
around like a police kind of thing.
Police is one of
Yeah,
staples. Yeah.
and my mom would like watch it religiously lah, and so I watched a bit also lah. So and then of course there were the Chinese New Year ones and those like comedy ones, which like Sammo Hung and all that. But this
Mm.
like previous gen kind of stuff lah.
Yeah.
So and the newer stuff, even like Ip Man, all this is also Donnie. Yeah, it's also previous gen stuff one, like
Well,
previous gen people. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Donnie began very early, so
it's
he's
very
very much
steeped
the
in like the
era.
past lah.
he is, but
My
yeah. Sorry, you finish your thought.
Still in
No,
the
I was
past.
just saying
Yeah.
that my impression of like Hong Kong, like films and TV is very steeped in the past, lah. And so I myself have not like updated myself, and it doesn't help that here in Singapore, any movie that comes out from Hong Kong is going to be dubbed in Mandarin.
Oh yeah.
This thing, they were
Okay.
last time during the
Yeah.
I don't even know what year, but basically they tried to like remove dialect lah from like
Oh,
popular.
Hong Kong films also
Yeah.
come there and then become, oh
Yeah,
man.
So do
whatever
they
Hong Kong
still
is,
do
hey,
that?
why is Jackie Chan speaking in Mandarin?
And
Yeah,
the
so
Mandarin is
it's
like
so during Chinese New
mainland.
Year when
Oh, is
they
it localized Mandarin or is it like a mainland dub thing?
to be
Did
honest,
you? Can't tell lah. Okay.
I think it's mainland one. So
You
like
okay?
during Chinese New Year when they're like of course the Chinese films it's dubbed in Mandarin one, and so it kind of takes something away from it.
Oh, certainly.
So
It
yeah, so
does.
it's
It
not
does.
Jackie Chan's voice,
Yeah.
and so it's not so what lah.
Do they still do that
And,
now?
so
Yeah.
think so.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
oh, incidentally, did you know that Jet Li is Singaporean?
Oh, is he?
Actually,
Yeah, he's Singaporean.
He's a dual citizenship, is it?
So
I say he got the
no, but I
citizenship lah.
thought if you become a Singapore citizen, you have to get rid of your
Renounced?
US
No, I thought
citizenship.
Singapore can do dual citizenship.
No,
I think it depends on what the
I
other
think
country.
can't. Our friends in Singapore have to choose.
I'm not sure.
No,
think-
remember
No,
all
but
those
If you are
Davian's friend?
Malaysian and if you're Malaysian and you have to lah, that's like you have no choice but to do it. But I don't know about other countries.
So
But,
Malaysians in Singapore cannot, but then
Oh,
other
yeah.
countries maybe
Yeah,
can.
Yeah,
cannot.
because
Malaysia, Singapore
Oh.
cannot.
because Malaysia
So-
don't allow ma, but Australia does ma.
That's Malaysia's issue, not Singapore's issue, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Anyway, so they dub it in Mandarin, and so it's just even if it's the same film that I've seen before, then I won't watch it lah because it's no longer the same. Not that my Cantonese is damn good lah, but you know, it's some jokes just like
Don't
land
land.
a bit better. in
It
Cantonese.
this not the honestly even for me also when I watched a Hong Kong film, right? I think among three of us here, probably John is able to like comprehend
yeah,
most
he's
of
the
it.
most like Cantonese
the-
guy.
Mm.
In fact, he's probably the most Cantonese guy I know.
Oh my god,
right.
that
Doesn't
doesn't
sound
sound so what also, and I'm not that Cantonese.
I mean, I
it's
can
not-
get by the
it's-
basic words, but then yeah,
Yeah, it's not so much about you, but it's more about me. As if like I'm like quite. It's basically a condemnation of like my kind of like exposure, despite growing up in KL for like how many years.
no, I think me and
No.
John, both of us, we grew up in family, Cantonese speaking families, and also exposed to Cantonese media lah. So, but of course, education wise, no, never lah. So it's a product of that law. So this is how much like my vocabulary of my Cantonese vocabulary is effectively whatever words I picked up from my family and TV and film, which is not really a very good,
So I've got a question. So Mr. Vampire, is it horror or comedy?
It can be both.
Can it be the both?
The film, the Hollywood film, Warm Bodies, the one about the zombie who has emotions.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
watch
remember?
that.
They made it into a
No,
Hollywood
no, 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 no.
version. Is
Be
that it?
different.
Or
There's a
what?
Mr. Vampire, and then
It's
John's context
Oh,
question, and then I bring up the counter to that, like in
I've seen
Hollywood,
Warm Bodies.
Warm
Kind of good
Bodies.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
quite a good show, but is it a comedy or a horror?
Yeah, kind of
Okay,
bit of
no,
both
wait, wait.
lah.
Yeah,
Bit
actually,
of
no,
both lah.
can right? It's so it can. Well, cause in both Mr. Vampire and Warm Bodies, they're very light elements. There's almost slapsticky elements,
It's kind of like
but
Shaun of the
there's
Dead kind of like thing lah.
Shaun of the Dead is more comedy than horror because even the horror scenes are not scary.
mm.
There were some
Although the
gory
zombies are
parts
like,
lah. So
Yeah.
there were some gory parts
yeah,
lah.
they're slow. They're like, no, they're playing PS.
Yeah.
Okay, but for both Mr. Vampire and Warm Bodies, when they film the antagonistic vampires or zombies, right? Quite scary one. Like
I've
in
got
the
a
frame.
question.
Yeah.
You know how the Westerners will have their vampire all written out,
Mr. Vampire.
the
Dracula.
Draculas and all this kind of thing, right? I mean, it was a lore that was like been created long time ago. How did the Chinese one
Twilight.
came about?
Maybe the hopping one, the
The
one
hopping one.
that you put the thing here, then he.
The talisman. The talisman.
Yeah,
talisman.
who came up with that idea of putting a talisman over here and then they are just like
I think
frozen?
I think it's just different cultures having different interpretations of the undead law. I think it's just that. I think it's just that. No, Chinese and
why the hopping and why the hopping and why the thing.
yeah, I don't even think that is. I think the hopping one is probably a probably for film or very very rare interpretation lah. I think. Nothing about the hopping
Even
feels
in,
scary.
Even like in like Malaysian
Ghosts?
like culture,
Local.
so they also have that lah. You know,
Yeah,
the one
hopping?
the hopping
You
one.
got
the one that-
Pontianak what?
Not exactly no. I mean yes,
The
Pontianak,
Malay
but not the
Pontianak
one
doesn't
that
hop, what?
the one
Does it
that's
hop?
that the one that's like wrapped up because they can't.
Yeah,
Hantu
you can-
pocong. Hantu pocong.
Hantu Pocong, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
Hantu
yes,
pocong.
that one. So
So
yeah,
they have
so
a
there was
Malaysian
Does it hop?
version.
Oh,
No,
it
it
hops
doesn't.
because it's
Yeah.
all wrapped up.
Oh
It's
yeah,
hot
yeah,
because,
yeah, yeah.
because they can't get out. So
It's
like,
trying to come out lah, like a mental
the kind of thing.
Lepasku. Okay. No, okay. Obviously I've not watched.
So okay, so
the
that
Hantu
has
Pocong.
some hopping. So but the Cantonese, I don't know where it came from.
Where it came from, I wonder. It's a
I mean,
good
it's just
topic to
different-
just
Then you
Yes,
don't
they-
breathe.
yeah. Who came up with that?
then he can't see you suddenly. So that was actually it was kind of scary. I mean I watched it, but now when you
It's
think
funny
about it,
also.
kind of
It's
funny.
funny also. Because the actors who did the whole don't breathe scene is so hilarious. I will watch that anytime because it's like
We
it's
were
just-
kids, and that's why we find it scary. But I've been watching it again, like when we are adults. It's like so stupid and funny.
It's stupid and funny, but it still works.
Yes, it
Again,
works.
nostalgia
I
plays
mean,
a
it's
part,
like
but then-
you watch it because it's like entertaining. Yeah? You know, if a movie entertains you,
and it's you.
it does the job already. Whether or not you call it a good movie or a bad movie, right? It's a good movie if it entertains you, no matter what. Yeah. So yeah.
Vampire shows. Yeah. There've been a lot of all these like vampire shows like trying to be redone or remade in China as well. Because I browsed through in on the iQIYI and those China a lot there.
Oh,
As
really?
much as there's a lot of those period piece like sword fighting wuxia, the dragon, the phoenix, the this, the that, right? A lot of like fantastical China period piece productions. There's also a lot of like the vampire based one with the Sifu in the Taoist robes. And I think one of the guys, the brother or something from the Hong Kong the era one, he also like pivot over to do the vampire shows in China as well. All very much based around there. So it's
you should
still
do a
trying
watch
to.
party one of these.
I'm really curious who's the, if there's a documentary of where this film comes from, or where these ideas came from, right? Wearing the Chinese Qing Dynasty costume to like having the hats, long tail, right? Most of them, yeah, long tail, and then hopping around. I mean, having the fingernails long and everything is like almost given, right?
Just grow lah, just
yeah.
grow lah.
Yeah,
The fingernails long.
yeah, I mean, it's given vampires and everything, right? So the lore was already defined like many, many, many years ago.
When is the last time you guys had Lomai Gai? You don't think about vampire, right?
You don't, not anymore.
Is it
Law
anything to do
my,
with it?
law my
Sticky
the
rice is
sticky
meant to
rice.
raw sticky rice is meant to fend off vampires.
Yeah.
In at least in
So
that movie
in
lah.
Chinese, so the vampires, the Western one is garlic ma. This one, the Chinese one
It's like
is lo
glutinous
mai.
rice.
Yeah, glutinous rice.
Raw. You can't steam it because in the show that somebody steam it. Then like no, you
Oh,
can't
that's
mix it. You can't
hilarious.
steam it. Yeah, it's like
Why is
don't
it?
know why
Don't
rice
know.
Is
You
is
there
step
like
on it
some
and then
phonet-
got it has
got black
smoke
colour
and
mah.
become black color. Yeah.
maybe there's like some maybe
And
there's
if
like some
you
phonetical like link to it lah. You know, the Chinese like this thing. If it sounds like it, then it's probably it.
for this as the Chinese, either
Yeah.
it sounds like it or it looks like it. You know, like
Or looks like
Chinese,
it, sounds like
yeah
it.
lah. The Chinese
Sounds like
love
it
all
is
these
the
kind of
one
things. One.
that is the one that is like the most common lah.
And then the common vampire law, if the vampire bites you and then you turn
You would
into a
turn.
vampire.
That one I think everybody also got lah, right?
Yeah,
Is the
common
Chinese one like that
vampire law.
also?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's it,
The,
okay.
the story you're referring to, the one about the nobody one, the guy got bit, and then he got bit probably like maybe wait he got bit. No, he got stabbed. He got stabbed at the arm. I remember the details. He got stabbed at the arm, both arms, but somehow the bloodstream is like slower than being bitten at the neck, which is like the main artery, I guess maybe. So like, they could still like try to like sustain his infection for lack of a better word, and then ask him to eat
Lor mai.
glutinous rice. Ask him to step and dance on glutinous rice to disperse the effects of the bloodstream, and then the guy. So it's yeah. But I remember all this because I grew
it
up
work?
watching it. Eventually he turned also lah, but then yeah lah. Oh, he turned because the rice that he was given was sold to him by a peddler who was concerned about
Vampires.
no, he was concerned about his stockpile of
So he
glutinous
mixed it.
rice going too low, so he mixed it just to
He
sell.
cut it with regular rice.
Cut it at regular rice
Oh.
and then just to minimize his stockpile hit or something like that. This kind of like silly like that. Yeah.
All these conversation, right, in my back of my head, I'm just thinking, Marcus, if you're listening to this, right,
Oh
and
my
you do know
God.
what we are talking about, go back and watch Mr.
No, he probably
Vampire.
does. He probably does.
He does?
Marcus is an
Probably
Ipoh
does.
born kid. I think he's pretty got the
Ipoh,
better.
Ipoh,
Yeah,
for
sure,
sure.
got one,
For
sure
sure.
got one. Well, shout out Marcus. All right, man.
Yeah.
I actually got to go. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while already. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of It's Okay Lah.
All film.
Oh, we actually, yeah, we did quite a bit about Hollywood and all this kind of movie stuff. I hope you guys are entertained.
Until next time.
I guess so. Until next week, I hope. No more birthday, no more delays. We've got our friend here already passed exam, so he doesn't need to study anymore.
Yay! Clap, side effect. Celebration side effect. Side effect.
Very slow, very slow.
Never mind. Forget about that.
Yeah. All right. See, with that said, with that clap, see you guys. Ciao, ciao. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.